And we're back. Well, we're here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here because this is not a Squadcast that you're normally used to hearing. As you can tell by the intro music, you are in for something different, experimental, kind of like sex, but not like sex. Something of that nature. Lou's Relationship Corner, featuring two of my awesome co-stars, Keem. She's normally the moderator, but today she's just a regular nigga.
I'm a lady, Lou. I'm a lady and a special guest on this one.
And my other special guest, T.
What up?
He is a nigga though. King, you right. You are a lady. You are a queen, a black queen. We gonna slide this shit right proper.
Hold up.
I could be a queen.
But I'm limited to a nigga in that sense if it wasn't just for...
I'm sorry, T. You could be a black queen too. If it's that
the opposite of queen is not nigga.
You want to be Lou's king, T? Yes, no. King. Okay.
It's better.
So today on Lou's Relationship Corner, we are going to delve into two very important parts of meeting that special someone and trying to court that special someone. First impressions, first dates. To me, these are two of the most important things you can have happen at the beginning of your relationship. One, there is no future if the first impression with that person don't work out right. Second, if that first date go bad, that's kind of the end of your relationship. Or potential of your relationship, I should say, instead of saying a relationship. So we're gonna start off with first impressions. So I'm gonna look to my lovely queenful, that is a word now because I'm making it one, co-star Keem, and give me some insight on first impressions when you're trying to date.
Okay, so here's what I can say. I actually have not dated that much. I don't know if you would consider me a serial monogamist. It's just the way timing worked out that like high school had the same boyfriend, college had the same boyfriend, got married, so, and then divorced. But in my singledom, my recent singledom for the past 5 years or so, first impressions can really fuck you up on dating. Like, there were times where I actually said, okay, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to jump out there in the dating world and I'm going to do this. Like the next guy that comes up to me and approaches me.
The next guy.
I'm going to go on a date with them.
Jesus.
And then like, they'll come up and say something like, damn, Ma, how you get that in them jeans or something like that. I'm like, all right, no, I was wrong. I'm out. I'm done. So I think, and let's be real here. So I think we all understand that when a person approaches you, they're generally approaching you because they are physically attracted to you.
Facts.
But
okay.
No, you disagree, T?
I mean, you can't see the personality when you first meet somebody.
Right.
Y'all can't. But
well, damn, T, we're going to get to your superpowers next.
Yeah, T psychic ass. I be looking at bitches' auras. Is that
kind of accurate, King? It was orange.
You know what they say about them orange auras. But I think that when you approach someone, if you're approaching someone with the thoughts of, they're an attractive person, I want to get to know them to see if the outer beauty, has the same inner beauty. There's a certain way that you need to approach that person to let them know that you're not just looking at them on a physical level. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short nowadays, is like the first thing that they want to do is compliment your body or, grunt or make some kind of something to let you know that they have, noticed that you are particularly attractive. And I think that's where dating has kind of died, because everybody is, they're too blunt, too straightforward, instead of actually going and approaching someone with manners and respect. Like, hey, I noticed you over there. Just thought I'd come over and get to know you a little better. But That's me.
All right, or a nigga. I'm highly interested on how the hell you see women's personalities when you first meet them.
Well,
Stalking, because TB stalking.
I was going to say, Keem, actually, I was going to say that, Keem. Like, I don't stalk per se, but I am more of a, I don't really get many first impressions because I'm kind of, well, I don't really pursue women because in more cases than not, the pursuit of women is what make most men lose in the first place, in my opinion. And they've heard everything and everyone's done it wrong. So you got to do too much dodging, juking and everything just to let them know you're not that typical dude. So for me, I just don't do it. I don't have many first impressions. They notice me probably 2 times before I noticed them. So usually I'll hear later that someone saw me at a party and I just happened to see them at another event later that oh no, we met before. I'm like, oh shit. Like I didn't know we met before. I didn't pay attention to it. So it's kind of accidental, but when I do notice someone, the aura thing to me is real. Like it is how they're interacting with other people. It is kind of stalkerish in a way. It's how they speak. I mean, I don't know how well. I don't think these are situations for me where you're just out and about. Like I'm not the type of person who meets someone at the grocery store unless we in line talking or something like that. Who I would just pick up and ask to go out or something like that. Usually with me, mutual friends or mutual interests, or we're somewhere that you can actually get a vibe from a person because everything I do is usually based off of vibes. But on first impressions, that's usually it for me. I look for, like I said, how you interact with other people, how you speak is like maybe 1A on my list, right behind well, really how you carry yourself. Those are 1 and 1A. And then, physical appearance is probably 3rd on the list, I would say. But I don't know. That's usually how I attack it.
Well, I can understand that. I mean,
would you think that, well, my first impression comes on the first date, oddly enough. Like,
wow.
It happens that way sometimes.
I get my first impression like from the moment I meet the person. Again, I'm also a person. I don't pursue women. I never have. It's just not a thing that I fully understand yet. But what I do is accidentally pursue women, if that makes sense. Where if we're at a bar, I'm a talkative person at times. So if you order something and I'm by you, I'm going to start talking. It's just me. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm hitting on you. Women think that means you're hitting on them. For me, I'm never hitting on you. It's just that I like talking to people. As you said, T, you don't talk to people or meet people at a grocery store. I've met so many women who I've ended up sleeping with or attempting to establish something with in grocery stores. Just walking up to them and randomly talking. Like they'll be picking up something. I'm there to pick up something. I'm a short dude, so I'll be like, "You don't want me to get that for you?" I know it's real high. I get on my tippy toes real high and get that for you though. Like shit like that, just to make people laugh. I like to make people laugh, and it leads to me meeting women. And I base if I think I could go somewhere with that woman based off of that first conversation. So it's not necessarily for me a body type or just a body type or look that I'm going after. It's way more to do with that first interaction I have with them and how it plays. Mm-hmm. If you're not funny, if your personality does not shine through, I'm not interested. I could care less how sexy someone else may think you are. Mm-hmm. Like that's highly important to me is that interaction is there. Because at this point, I'm thinking in my head, how the hell could I proceed in dating this person if on me first meeting them, their personality was garbage? Mm-hmm. I mean, what is that how you approach situations, King?
If they're how can I see dating this person if their personality is garbage?
More of if you were to approach a guy? I know that. I mean, we're in 2017. I have to assume women
You don't believe in it?
approaching guys.
So let me clarify before people think that I'm over here like smelling myself. Like I never have to chase a no. I am extremely awkward. So my brand of flirting would be something ridiculous.
But that works.
That eats and shit. This is my sexy walk.
Sexy walk wouldn't even be in my mind. I'd be like, oh, I like puppies. And then look and expect like,
oh no, that's keyword for I want kids. That's never gonna work. No.
So yeah, I'm going to pass on that question.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. But you're probably awkward in a way that you would say, oh, I like puppies, but you never would actually let the dude know that you're interested in anything but the puppy.
Yes.
So he would think it was just the millionth woman who walked up to him who wants to pet his dog. And not that she's interested in petting his dog.
You know what the awkward part would be? He wouldn't even have a dog with him.
That would be it.
That would be the awkward part. He wouldn't even have a dog with him. Well,
yeah.
Then playing on a first impression scheme, how do you go about a first date? If you can't get past the first impression, is there even possibilities of a first date?
Aha. That's why I have not dated, Lou. Taste the soup. I don't want to taste the soup. Taste the soup. I don't want to taste the soup. Yeah, that's why. Because when you're meeting a stranger and they don't have anything else to offer you but aesthetics and impression, like, and the impression is already really shitty, like you're either coming up super cocky, like, you know, bitches flock to you all the time. So surely I'm just going to fall all over myself to make sure that I give you my number or whatever. Or
literally fall all over yourself. Like
literally fall all over
like,
myself.
girl, I need you to trip and just on your way down, your number magically floats out your hand.
Yeah, so that is my issue. And my other issue is like physical attraction is great, but if I think you're a shitty person, I can't. Like, it's not going anywhere.
Okay,
so
cool. Let's go with that.
Shitty people.
And how do we get to the point
there are a
of
lot
the
of
physical, getting past just the physical attraction and getting to the point where you actually talk to the person? Because I think that sounds like you're saying that's an issue with you.
What, getting past physical attraction?
And just having that conversation, having that first conversation past the physical attraction. You almost saying like you're awkward, so it's kind of hard to make that transition. So for anybody else who may be awkward, how do you make that transition from, wow, I think this person is cute, or I think this person is attractive, I would like to talk to him? How do you get past your own awkwardness to have that conversation?
Microphone in the ear with a real cool friend guiding you. So, okay.
God damn it.
I have a story. So
I could be a ghostwriter.
you would be a bomb ass ghostwriter too, because you've been giving me like ratchet quotes all day. So one of my jobs, there was this guy, really good looking guy. And like I had noticed, I was like, oh my gosh, he's really cute. And like I'm talking to my other two coworkers, right? Both girls. And they're like, oh my God, he is cute. And so then
like they just noticed.
they well, we all started working in the building at the same time. So we all just kind of noticed around the same time. One was married, one had a boyfriend. So I was like the single one. I was the single one. So you know, one of my coworkers is like, you know, you should totally like, you know, flirt with him and try to hook up with him and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how. And she's like, shut up. What do you mean you don't know how? And so then she like brings him over and she's like,
oh shit.
Like, I baked. That's what it was. I baked. And she was like, you have to come over here and try something amazing. So he comes over and like, you know, she's like, try these cookies. She made them. So he tastes one and he's like, oh my God, these are really good. And like I'm just sitting there smiling, and she's like nudging me, like say something. And I'm
just smiling.
And I'm like, I made him from scratch, and that was like all I got out the whole conversation. And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And so then we all stood there in awkward silence for a few, and then he turned around
and walked
and
away.
left. Yeah,
You fucking blew it, Keem. That was like
no.
perfect.
She was like, "You've got to do more. You've got to do more because he's always coming up here pretending to go to the bathroom." And like,
but that was a shitty setup a little bit.
It
like,
was kind of a shitty setup, but
I think it was. It was. I mean, what else you gonna have to say about cookies?
See, but you're supposed to branch off and be like,
and to what?
I make those cookies. You really like them? He'd be like, yeah, man, these are awesome. Oh, okay. But let me give you the recipe. And then he'd be like, I don't bake. And that's how you
None of that is Keem though. Like, did they not know her when they just brought her over there with that awkward ass shit?
Right. Like
it could have went shit. If they know you, which they do, right? They could have went anywhere else with that. Like, oh yo, you gotta come over here and try Keem's cookies. Like, she gonna be awkward, but
because it's so many in your windows and jokes there that can be played as innocent.
I say always address the elephant in the room. Like, it's the easy to me. Like, just put it out there that you're awkward.
Yeah,
right.
Oh, so these your cookies? I'm telling you, your cookies. I ain't never taste no cookies like these cookies. You want to do something that could be perceived as innocent and a little creepy?
Be like, yo, I want to say more to you, but I'm awkward as hell. Just walk away. You say something. Like something
exactly.
That's just gonna address the awkwardness that you gonna bring.
To get past those first impressions that could lead to something else. That's the key part, I think.
Oh, and another thing, not to stomp on Keem's thing, but like, you can tell when someone's full of themselves when they're talking to you. Like, to me, like the best thing you can do is ask questions. Not where it seems like it's a Q&A session. Not as far as the dude. I mean, like, so if someone's approaching me and they're just sitting there telling me everything about themselves, like this is a speed date, like for me, it's gonna be a turnoff.
Like, so you mean they're telling you all about themselves, but they're not asking you any questions about you?
Right. It's one-way traffic. So it's like, this person really likes to talk about themselves. That's all I'm gonna be getting from the situation.
Could it be that person's nervous and that's the way they deal with it?
It could be.
But we're also just talking about
talk about themselves.
We're also talking about first impressions. So on your first impression, you're probably not sitting there analyzing like, oh, well, maybe they're nervous, maybe they're awkward, maybe they don't really know how to break the ice. Like in your mind, it's just like, you self-centered son of a.
And y'all know the way in which I mean that they're talking about themselves. Yeah. They're like, I don't really like. They're giving you, not only are they just giving you stuff about themselves, but their opinions on everything, and they aren't finding anything out about you. Like they're waiting for you to just cut them off or some shit.
Right.
I'm a listener, so that part wouldn't bother me that much. I would prefer you talk all about yourself. It gives me more ammunition to go into the first date. So I like that.
Yeah.
Ammunition,
because Keem, the first date is like going to war. I ain't saying that. That's an awesome segue until the first date.
Us here at the Lou's Corner support the troops, and dude, it would not ever compare a first date to war.
To going to war.
The words of Lou are the words of Lou alone.
I don't mean physically going into war, but the mindset has to be the exact same.
Love might get shot in the face.
Is a battle. Wow.
Shit. Listen. As a woman, I am a little nervous out there on these streets. All these stories you hear about girls just being like, no, I'm not going to give you my number. And then dudes like fucking them up.
Yeah.
Girls should never go. Here's a couple of rules I have for first dates. Let me just put it this way. First things first, a woman should never go on a first date with a man and have him pick her up.
Nope.
Every first date should be you two mutually meeting at a spot. And that spot need to be mutually agreed upon at least 3 to 4 days before that date. Because women, you should be scouting these places to make sure it is not somewhere unsafe for you to go to.
Yeah, those days are kind of over.
Yeah. Like you can't just blindly say, okay, I'm gonna just go meet him, or he can pick me up from home. No. Mm-mm. Too many crazy people out in the world. It's bad enough that any woman going on a first date or a blind date is equivalent to me meeting a terrorist. You know he wants to blow you up.
Horrible.
You know everything bad.
Analogy.
So bad. It's like so many places to go.
You know how bad he wants to blow you up. you really got to let this shit play into your head of safety first. Yeah. So, women, safety first. Please don't be going on first dates with guys and having to pick you up from home. Like, you need to drive. You need to have an exit plan. And your exit plan needs to be you.
Yeah.
And your vehicle, your Uber, whatever it takes so you can get out of that situation. Because normally within first dates, within the first 10 minutes, you should know if this is going to be something you want to continue or end.
Yeah, what's the saying? Women know within the first such and such amount of time if they want to sleep with a guy. Does that go beyond sleeping with the dude? Well, first, is that true? Second, does that go beyond that?
I think that's true for all people, though. I know within the first 10 seconds if I'm going to sleep with a woman.
If you're going to, if you want to.
Wait, or if you want to. Yeah. Two differences.
Yeah.
I did not stutter in what I said.
Oh, okay.
I know within the first 10 seconds if I'm going to sleep with a woman. It's obvious to me.
What's the tell in the first 10 seconds?
Yeah.
It's all her. It's her body movement, and it's everything, but it has everything to do with her reaction to whatever the first thing is I say. That tells me everything.
Who's on some ant shit right now? Like I was.
Did you shit today?
Pupils dilating.
Did you shit today? I mean, in the morning, but okay,
yep, got her.
I'm gonna fuck this girl. She gonna give me that.
But King, again, as T said, what is that? Does that play a part into the first date?
But knowing within the first 10 seconds,
if you're going to sleep with somebody, does that play any part in the first date?
Like you give them more leeway. Like, all right, that was some stupid shit you just said.
Like he really trying to talk his way out of this pussy, and
niggas do talk their way out of
so quickly. I'm gonna have to go with anecdotal evidence on this one because again, like I've told y'all before, I'm different and I'm generally not sexually attracted to someone until I actually get to know them as a person. So in the first 10 seconds, I'm still trying to figure out if you kick puppies or,
They punted back.
Baxter, bark twice if you're in Milwaukee.
Oh, shit. Out of all things, puppy stuff.
I really like puppies, Lou. But no, like seriously, I just if I'm trying to figure out if that person is an asshole, trying to figure out where their mind is at, what kind of personality they have, do we have similar interests? Because to me, sex is sharing energy, and I don't really like wasting energy. So, but that being said, I have had friends that have been like, oh yeah, like as soon as we sat down, I was like, yeah, he gonna get this. And then like, either everything went really well and everything went really well after the date, or he was a dick.
So like, are they just, it's just been a while for them, or is it like they just love sex like that? The ones who's like, I knew he was going to get it.
Well, I mean, you have some people who fuck for pleasure. Like, there's no prerequisites or anything. Just as long as it's safe, you're, we're both here. Let's do it. So those would be those kind of people.
The fuck is the date for then?
Me.
Like, what's the point of the date? We all wasting time and money is also time. So what the fuck are we doing?
Because it might also be that they want to have a relationship with this person, but
I thought it was.
Or maybe rent is due and they still need a free meal.
I heard that a lot in the last 3 years. Like women just going out for free meals.
Well, see,
Which is a shame.
you gotta weed through women like that. Like, I'm not taking you out for a free meal. I tend to know I do like having sex for just pleasure. It's awesome. So I know up front, if we're just having sex for pleasure, I'm not even taking you out to on a date. I mean, beyond the rules that I have for a first date, we're not even going out for a date because I think
there are ways to find that out too, right, Lou?
oh man,
If that's all they want is
for free food.
No. Well, no.
For free fuck.
Free dick. Like,
Yeah, women give off signs when all they want to do is sleep with you.
right.
And I think we're in a time period, which reminds me, which it sounds weird because I was not born in the 70s. I don't know who just took a shit. I'm gonna say
that was the court coming out the bottom. That's why I laughed. I was like,
Yep.
God damn it.
Sexiest podcast out right now, guys.
I swear it is, Joe. But I'm gonna say when I say it reminds you of the 70s, to the extent that I believe for the most part women are more upfront and honest about what they want with their bodies. So if you meet a woman, most women will tell you up front if they just looking for sex.
Mm-hmm.
And some women will tell you if they believe they're dating for a purpose or they're just dating for fun.
Oh, chicks who date with the purpose
should
are going to let you know up front. And that's the chicks who date with the purpose are letting you know off top when you ask.
I ain't playing no games.
I'm dating for a purpose. Like, so you already know.
Mm-hmm. And that's, to me, that's dope. That's extremely dope that you could be that honest up front when meeting somebody. Because again, all of this plays into the first date. It makes that first date more comfortable when both of you two are honest up front. You can have your rules, you can lay them out. So
is that done on a date or on the first impression though? Like when your first conversation with that person?
That's literally done on a first date because the first impression does not necessarily lead to a deep conversation. Like I can give you my first impression and we could have like superficial conversations that lead to me asking you, hey, let's go get some coffee, which I have done before. You need to do that more. Like
bulletproof.
Hey, you take a woman to Starbucks. Got him.
Never been to Starbucks ever.
Oh my god.
Really?
Caramel coffee. Macchiato.
Macchiato. God damn it.
Macchiato.
Nope.
Macchiato.
I said macchiato.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
But that leads to the first date. So
shout out Mo.
Exactly. No bull. Shout out Mo for that. I said what I said. No bullshit. That was hilarious. But first date rules. Now, I'm going to ask you all, before I go into my litany of first date rules, I'm going to ask you all, T, do you have any rules for the first date?
If it's, well, my ideal first date is it's a first day kind of a thing. Like, I don't like doing one thing and that be it. That's boring as shit to me. So if I'm planning it, it's a series of events, like batting cages, dinner. Actually, I would do something cheap for dinner, actually, or lunch or some shit like that. I plan it more so around lunch for the comfort of the person. But as far as my rules, don't say conversate. Don't be rude to the waiter, because either one of those situations, I just may knock your glass of water over and roll out. Like, call your Uber is coming. I'm out of here. I can't do it. Nah, like I kind of set them on the first impressions, because like I said, my first impressions really come during the first date. And we talked on previous podcasts about like not liking me opening doors, pulling out chairs, standing up before you sit down. Like, to not even know what the fuck chivalry is will just turn me off, and I'm done with it. Don't talk too much about yourself. As far as food is concerned, like, try not to pick the most expensive thing on there, because I am going to think you're just there for food at that point. So it's not a litany of things for me. It really is just based on vibes, and there are words, terms, and conversations that you can have that will feed into vibes and to make me know that you are going for a vibe as opposed to just trying to like get information. So don't ask me too much about my job. Definitely don't ever mention how much does it pay. All of that shit is like I've had that happen. I went to lunch with a coworker, not a coworker, but someone who worked nearby, and I drove, and it was a new car at the time. She's like, "Oh, how much you get paid in there?" And then just stared at me until I answered the question. I thought she was joking, and I was like, "Yeah, this isn't going." So, like for me, it's don't minimize me to my job. Don't minimize me to the meal. Nothing like that. So just show fucking interest. Like this is why you're here, right? Like, are you not entertained? So, I mean, that's it for me, though.
What about you, King? What? I know you have not been on the first date since 1864.
Like, nigga, take me on one. That's my
I
rule.
hate slavery. He gotta hate slavery.
I hate slavery. He gotta hate slavery.
He gotta have both feet.
Yeah, he can't be missing one foot because Master cut it off. No. We here at the Draw For podcast do not think slavery is funny.
Yes, the fuck we do.
As
clearly.
I laugh. But the show within the show at Insecure Due North was fucking hilarious. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I guess just be a decent person would be my number one rule. Like T said, don't be rude to your server. Don't ask me what I do. I think one of the rudest questions you can ask in general when meeting somebody, and I know it's small talk and people ask it to break the ice or whatever, is what do you do?
Well,
and it annoys me.
Everyone asks that though.
I know, and it annoys me. Like, what do you do for fun? I would rather know that. What are your hobbies rather than what do you do for a living? What's your passion?
But
I think people minimize adults. Well, okay, so I mean, Lou asked the question that I think is the part that would annoy you. But I'm thinking, like, as adults, most people only talk about their job. Like, when you go meet up with a friend, it's like, what's going on? How everything been going? Just working. Like, so everyone kind of thinks that that's the main thing you got going on if your life is what you do for work.
But we meet up all the time, and we never fucking talk about our jobs.
That's because we're friends.
We're not trying to date each other.
That's true. Okay. Touche. But
second date should never come up. Like, but they would say, "How was work?" Does that annoy you too?
No, that wouldn't annoy me. How was work? It was shitty.
It's just not asking what you do.
Yeah, like
okay. So, but Lou, you said it's important, and I'm curious, and I'm just gonna wait to find out if that is the part that annoys King.
Why is it important? Like double dutching, like at the front, just like waiting. Both of y'all said something said things that are highly important to me for first dates.
All right, maybe King should finish then.
Yeah.
Keep double dutch waiting.
Lou is over there like Buddy Elf when they said Santa was coming. Santa! Yeah, so don't be rude. And just, I mean, I guess for the most part, be yourself, because if yourself is rude, I need to know that, so I'm not wasting any more time. And I'm going to try to be myself because I want you to know, like, you're about to deal with a weird fucking person.
You're not like weird, King.
I'm weird. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying weird like it's a bad thing, but I also know that I'm not for everybody. Only certain people co-sign my crazy. So
nobody's for everybody.
Yeah. So, like, let's just go ahead and make sure that we know who each other are.
Get this crazy out of the way.
Before.
Yeah, I got a shitload of knives.
That is actually a fact that I would not share because I have those for safety purposes. So I'm not going to let you know that I have.
Right,
all of them.
All of them.
Yes.
At some point, you just start collecting fucking knives, King.
Yeah. At first, they were for safety, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful."
I never know what corner I gotta push a nigga into because all of them got fucking knives.
It's funny you say that, but yeah, yeah, and then be creative, I guess. Like, I know I was talking BE aggressive. No, don't be aggressive because that will get you stabbed. I have a lot of knives.
Again,
reiterate.
No, like one of my friends was asking me like what I thought what a good date was, and I was like, I don't know, maybe just going to the movies and then taking a stroll around the park. And he was like, no, bitch, no, like we need excitement, we need adult dates, we need concerts. Gay friend, if you couldn't tell, we need concerts.
Oh, we knew the moment he said no, bitch.
Yeah,
it was the gay friend. We knew then.
That was a given.
Either that or like one of my friends, may he rest in peace, said, no, bitch. And I was just like, my gosh, oh, okay.
Like gay that friend or Lou.
Right. Yeah, so just be creative and do something fun. It doesn't have to be anything crazy expensive. Like okay, I'm gonna go into an ant rant for a second. I know, like I've seen a bunch of like different memes or posts and stuff about this nigga tried to take me on a free picnic in the park, cheap ass nigga, or this nigga went to such and such and he had a Groupon. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with that? He's saving money. That means that he knows how to make a dollar stretch, bitch. You better take that Groupon and order off the right side of the menu and shut the fuck up. But yeah, so just make it fun, like respectful.
That's dope.
My first date, we hitting a food truck while we're out. Let's keep it pushing so we can have fun on this date. I was just saying, like, second date, we can go to a nice restaurant. But the first date, like, we learning about each other. It's boring as shit talking at a table.
Right. And you shouldn't have to spend a whole bunch of money on a first date because you are just getting to know somebody. That's
and they should thank me because if they ordered a salmon, I'm knocking that same glass of water out over and then I'm walking out. So if you pronounce the L in that motherfucker, I'm done.
He's done.
So do you two believe you should go Dutch the first date?
Nah.
No. I think whoever asks should pay because you invited that person on that date.
Are you asking for the first date?
Me as in me team? No, I'm not asking for the first date because.
So why that's your stance?
But if I'm gonna pull a OJ here, if I were to ask,
wait a minute,
Knobs and OJ. God,
this is just
get you a Bronco for your birthday.
Sexiest podcast out right now.
The Bronco, right?
If I were to ask someone out on a date, then I would pay, or I would at least offer to pay. And if they were like, no, I got it, I'd still be like, no, I asked you, I should pay. And if they made a big deal about it, okay, sure, you can pay, but it was my invitation.
Okay.
Never invite me out, King, because you paying. I'm not gonna stop you for paying.
Have you noticed that I haven't, Luke?
Okay, so let me get. I gotta rub my hands together so you can hear it. Let me get my first date rules in order. First, I don't believe in going any place that's
ain't gonna be pissed, by the way.
Exactly. Entree oriented, meaning that they have lots of entrees, because, and this is gonna sound a little sexist, but I'm gonna get around to the point where I say this. First things first, I don't let women pick out food on the first date. At all.
This is what you're gonna be looking forward to.
Somebody
from Lou.
send me some pearls.
So many comments on your page, on your love and Lou corner. You have so many comments.
And the reason
you better answer them too.
We need to set up an email just for Lou. Please send all comments and complaints to Lou. That's Lou.
He needs to do what I've been doing. Do Lou from the Draw For podcast, and you go in and you answer those questions.
You answer your complaint now. We're not doing this for you.
And not as the squad.
Well, here's my thing. The reason why I don't allow women to pick food when I go on dates with them is because
it affects the way they pussy smell.
Damn it, T.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All pineapples, bitch. All pineapples.
It's because I don't believe that you should eat an entree on the first date under any circumstance.
Well,
because the first date to me is for communication. So what I tend to do, I tend to pick restaurants that have a nice amount of appetizers that I can pick from. And I pick like 3 or 4 of them. We sit, we drink, and we talk. The whole point of the first date is for me to get to know you and for you to get to know me.
Hey, Lou.
Yes, King.
Do you ask if she has allergies? Because you about to kill somebody.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I ask them, like, make sure you're not allergic to anything. I ask that as we're setting up the date, because I'm also the person that tends to like to pick the place we're going to.
Ooh, that's a new topic. Got you done.
Yep. I'm the person.
Conversation in between first date
and that first impression, first date in between conversation. Yeah. But I am the person who likes to pick the place. So once I pick the place, I'll get there and be like, okay, bring me this, and this. And the whole point is there for us to drink, or if she don't drink, she can drink water. I'm going to drink, and we sit and talk. To me, that's the most important part, because it's so many questions I need to ask to make sure this can proceed anywhere. One of those questions is, what do you do for a living? I'm going to ask that question, because I am not going to be stuck in a situation where you say I'm a Walmart greeter. That's not going to work for me.
You ain't gonna know this. She was the youngest Walmart greeter of all time.
There's nothing.
It's nothing wrong with that.
My highlighting game off the chain. I can see everything in your basket.
That leads to a greater conversation. There's nothing wrong with being a Walmart greeter. It is something completely wrong for you to be one in your 30s and not aspire to do something else.
Because like 40 years too young.
Yeah, it's not about where you're at the point that I meet you at your job. It's what is it that you want to do? To me, that's the part of small talk for me to get everything going. I'm not going to ask how much money you make, because to me that is a little too personal. But I may, depending on the person I'm meeting, depending on what I may know about your job beforehand, I have no issue asking your credit situation on the first date at all. Like, these are things that I need to know, especially when you're going out with women who say they're dating with a purpose. If you're dating with a purpose for us to be together, the questions get way more intense, because at this point, you've let it be known that you're dating for a purpose. So at this point, I should do the same. So I'm going to ask, like, okay, well, how you work? I may even ask, at that point, I may ask how much you make. What's your credit situation? What's your family structure like? Everything humanly possible to let me know up front if I should say, you know what, this ain't gonna work for me and you.
It's an interview at that point.
At this point, it is. And to me, that's what I meant by the first date is like combat. Technically, it is a back and forth between you and that person. Because
it's more of an interrogation.
You're trying to interview information.
Yeah, more of a tennis match.
Interrogation works. It's like waterboarding. Like
what the fuck, Lou? Look, I need you to sit down and talk to somebody.
It's you got to do whatever you have to do to get the information out that's necessary. Again, if we're just dating for fun purposes, and I don't know that you're dating for a purpose, it's a completely different date. Because at this point, I'm trying to have fun. I'm still going to take the time to get to know you. I'm going to ask about how your day went. You know, how's your job going? You got to tell me what you do, but just the atmosphere of your job, because that is very interesting to women, and their responses to it can be hilarious to me.
How soon after your first impression are you going on this first date to where you haven't already talked about jobs?
2 to 3 days. I'm very quick.
So you don't talk in between?
Clearly not like that, but yeah, T, it's a quick transition from first impression to first date.
But you don't talk in between, Lawrence?
Not really. Not really. I don't really like hold deep conversations before then. It's more of me, hey, okay, so we meet on such and such. I see you there. All my big conversations tend to happen during the first date. And that's why you can't eat entrees, because that stops conversation. Appetizers tend to be little with drinks flowing. And that, like, one, I don't set a budget for the first day. I care less how much money I spend. As long as we cool, we chilling, the vibe is awesome. Because to me, you start off at that restaurant, and then we do something else afterward. As T said, it can be just walking around. I'm a person who likes to walk around the monuments at night. And Joe says, dope. I would like, that's part of my first date. Or maybe like a little nightcap at like Blues Alley or Mama's Oregon or one of them other jazz places that play smooth enough music where we can still have a conversation over the music. Things of that nature. The goal is to show her a good time, but in the process of showing her the good time, I need to get as much information humanly possible from her as I can to decide if I'm going to put forth the effort afterwards to even want to have a second date.
00 dating over here.
This is dating in 2017, Keem. You have no choice in the matter. You got to delve deep into people to find out like what's really going on with you to decide if this is something I want to continue.
Make sure you bring your credit score, please. I mean, your credit report. Make sure you bring your credit report.
No bullshit.
Bring your credit report and your Carfax.
Hey, again, I was watching a show on OWN Network called Black Love. You need to, if you haven't seen it, it's really dope. On one of them, they interview famous Black couples. And one of the couples they interviewed was Viola Davis and her husband. And she said she held out for a couple of weeks before they was dating. After they was dating, I'm sorry. And she told him, man, I have to tell you something. He said, what is it? She said, man, I just want you to know I got bad credit. Like, and his response was, I already knew your Black ass had bad credit from the day I met you. Like, but to me, that honesty up front, because again, if this is going to go somewhere, any problem you have will become my problem. Mm-hmm. So we have to address it that way. Don't let that be the big ass elephant in the room. And then 5-6 months later, I'm like willing to make the steps to commit to you. And then you tell me this shit, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be really upset because it's like, you could have just been upfront and honest with me from the jump. It's not going to stop us from dating.
You asking questions the whole time.
I like talking, so I'm asking questions and I'm answering them too. I expect it to be a back and forth.
Can they ask you something that will turn you off?
No such thing. I could care less what it is.
Okay. Could the question be, what do you think of this Michael Kors bag?
Oh, she would know from the get-go. If you wear a Michael Kors bag on the
be like, babe,
I'm gonna let you know. Because again, I do it nicely. I'm gonna make a joke. I say, "Oh, that's for welfare mothers. Why do you have one of those?"
Damn it!
I'm gonna let you know like, what I think of a Michael Kors bag. Like,
shut the whole show down. Shut it down.
Just put this.
Snatch all the cords out. Let's go. Damn it!
God damn it! It's time to go. Like, I'm gonna let you know what I think of stuff of that nature. But as in questions of what she could ask me that would turn me off or upset me, how many sexual partners have you had?
Damn it. Wait, that's the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Because to me, that's you thought I was asking that question?
Yeah, I was about to, what the fuck are you doing?
She was like, why the fuck would you ask this right now?
Yeah. What are you doing?
That's something to me that
it's a turnoff. Yeah,
that's a young person's question. Under 25, they would ask some stupid shit like that during a date. I don't care who you slept with before
during a date. During a date.
Don't
ever ask
that should never be a question you should ever ask, because why do you want to know? And I'm just looking at it through the prism of a first date, because that's what
I wouldn't mind it if you said, let's go to the doctor and bring me clean reports before we do anything.
We can get tested together, 100% so. I love that.
Don't ask me.
That's dope, because I'm not wearing the condom afterwards. But beforehand, nah. Like, don't ask about sexual partners and past sexual experiences. That's not necessary.
No, it's not.
Especially, that's definitely not a first date question.
It's not an ever date.
Now, possibly a sexual preference could be a first date question, because I would want to know if the female that I'm trying to go out with is also into women. This is things I need to know. I don't need to be surprised later on and find out that you also like girls. Nor should she be surprised to find out if it was the same with me. You know what I mean? Well, I clearly like other girls. But you know what the hell I mean, King. Without me saying it, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, that's the back and forth that happens during that first date that's highly important.
Would you be more offended if she asked you on a first date, or if she asked you on a fourth date?
On the fourth date, I would be more offended, because that's something you should have. That's something you should have asked me up front.
Not just that. She know a lot about you by the fourth date, and if she's now thinking to ask you,
if you go on a fourth date with me, man, you know everything about me. Because the fourth date also interjects with more conversation in between dates than the first date does. So you get to know somebody more and more and more. But that first date is the centerpiece of everything. Everything you need to establish in your relationship moving forward should be established in that first date. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by moving forward, 5 to 10 years from then, that person should be able to go back to that first date and say, yeah, I'm not surprised that the person is that Lou is or Keem is or T is, because I found that out in the first date. Like, they were honest and upfront about intentions and everything else. Mm. So again, that's just some of my rules for the first date. I mean, it's just some of them. I believe first dates have dress codes.
You should probably print that out.
That's a lot of fucking paper.
Drop that karaoke list right on the desk, right on the table when you get there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and email you these rules.
Yeah, send the e-version. Save a tree, save a forest, because we're
gonna use WeTransfer.com because it's over 25 megabytes.
But I'm like, see, like I have certain words that can end a conversation. Yep. If a woman says anything about being woke, that's the end of our date. I will walk the fuck out. Like, nope. Nah, this ain't gonna work. If she swings her hair too many times during our conversation, I'm out.
Okay, look. Okay, sometimes you get fresh braids or fresh hair, and it's just fun to swing it a little more than you usually would.
I'm talking about
now. Tell me who
she got a 28-inch bundles, fresh, Remy, and she up that jump, just swinging that jump back, and you could tell a natural swing from his in my face to. Okay, time to show my neck.
You really can.
Nah, I'm gone. I'm like, okay, this has been awesome. I'm going to pay you up to this point. Have a wonderful evening. I will walk the fuck out.
You nicer than me.
Because I was raised with nothing and by nothing but women, so I have certain ways that I believe a first date should go. I mean, like I asked earlier, who should pay for the first date, but to me, I'm gonna pay for almost every date me and my significant other goes on.
I may actually put a plate underneath on top of the cup, turn it over, and then walk out. So at least you get a fucking chemistry experiment before and learn some shit. Like, oh, I remember school. Conversate ain't a word. Ain't a word, bitch.
Hold up. Ain't is a word. It is in the dictionary now.
I think conversate is actually.
I think it is too.
Dictionary.
And irregardless, like they're all in the dictionary now, but that doesn't mean that it's right.
Now, if you know that, and that's your reasons for using it, it's the same. It's the same chemistry experiment.
Right. It's wrong. It's just so wrong.
I might super kick the cup as I turn around.
So, Lou, can we just make the distinction that you are, well, I'm speaking for you as if I know this for a fact, and I would hope this would be the case, but you would actually like your woman to be socially aware. You just don't like the term woke.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because woke is for people under the age of 25. No, and I'm not dating anyone under the age of 25. We have nothing to talk about. So
I say woke, really, you borderline. You fought so hard just to not say hashtag before you said that.
Exactly.
Hashtag woke. Hey, because they already know hashtag me in this date. So
for me to go, I could go off on a rant of what I think about woke people, but this is not the show.
It's not the
show. It's a big ass rant I have about woke people in general. But that's just one of the terms that I feel that should not be used on a date, because to me, you're trying to force conversation by saying stuff like that. Like, don't do that. Like, make it natural. Make it about us. I don't like bringing up outside influences into the first date. Meaning, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about Beyonce. I don't want to talk about 444. I don't want to talk about shit but me and you. That's all that matters.
My podcast.
Exactly. That's all that matters. But in the first date is me and you. All that other stuff naturally happens later on. Or if a woman says, let's go on the first date, you can take me to the movies. No, at that point also, that's the end of me conversating with you.
If they say, let's go to the movies?
Yes, on first date, because
it's not the only thing.
No. But the first, anytime you go somewhere on your first date where conversation has to cease that's not a good thing. You're not getting to know me.
But you can go to the movie in between, or you can go before the dinner. You can have some more to talk about.
First date.
Oh, you said that's outside influence.
Yeah, first date is all conversation to me. No matter how many different places we go, it is still all conversation.
That sounds exhausting.
But
real king.
But when you getting to know somebody and the conversation is dope, it doesn't feel like work. Like it's somebody we all mutually know. And my first time meeting this person, we had a conversation for 8 hours.
Fuck y'all.
That sounds exhausting.
That's too much.
It was so natural, so smooth, flowing. It was so dope. That's the type of conversations that my ex, like our first time really having a conversation.
Hold on. How the fuck can you go 8 hours having a conversation?
Hey man, it's possible.
Lou, you take 3 showers a day.
Exactly. I had to shower after the conversation.
Was said person unemployed? Was it the weekend?
It was the weekend.
Okay.
But when me and my ex used to talk, that it was hours each day. Like we didn't
continuous
hours.
So you
because
like your phone at some point to charge.
I mean, literally I had to but this is during that time of really getting to know each other. I'm a huge talker and I like to really get to know you and I want you to get to know me. So all those little idiosyncrasies can get out the way.
Good word, nigga.
Exactly. I had to slow it down enough to say that jump though. But to get everything out the way, so as we progress in a relationship, nothing's like unexpected. I don't like unexpected surprises. That shit irritates me. So I like talking to get it all out the way. And if I get that out the way in the first date or 2 dates, 3 dates, I'm dope. That's cool. I know it sounds like a lot of work, as King would say, but to me, naturally it's not. Because if you think about it, King, we've all had conversations with each other for hours before. It just didn't seem that way.
I guess.
Breaks were taken, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
So
there were entrees.
Well, you can let your friends eat. You just can't let your first dates eat.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm your friend. Shit.
Exactly. Hey, first dates can't wear leggings. No, ma'am.
Well,
go back in the house and change. Are you crazy?
King, like I'm out.
You can go fuck yourself. That's what I say. Fuck you.
To me, that's not a first date outfit though. Like, only see all your ass on the first date.
Man, you can wear a longer shirt.
Yeah, like what if it's like a tunic and some leggings, cute little pair of knee-high boots.
See, but then you're not. When I say wear leggings, I mean like leggings is the feature part of the outfit.
Is leggings ever the feature part of an outfit?
Yes, King.
To some niggas.
Yes, King. It is often too.
Oh, okay.
Wearing leggings and a beater.
Exactly. I mean,
get
like
longer t-shirts.
You gotta ask.
But then I'm not gonna take you somewhere where that would be a dress code that would be appropriate anyway.
I'm is. We going to the batting cage. We going to driving range. Like go shoot some shit. You gonna need leggings and sneakers probably.
We going to Joe's Seafood, not Crab Shack. Please don't get it confused. Joe's Seafood. We're going to Bobby Vans. We're going to Charlie Palmer's. We're going somewhere where you have to dress the part
for appetizers.
Yes.
Appetizers. You're just too fucking fancy, Lou. That's what it boils down to.
Again, this is about first dates, first impressions. We all gonna have different perspectives on how a first date and how a first impression goes. So I'll branch off. I'm gonna say that to branch off the T, who brought up a very interesting point that we can close this show out on, which is the conversation between first impression and first date. How deep do you go into that conversation?
Dick pic deep. It's like
is it appropriate to send dick pics before the first?
No,
date?
No, it's never appropriate to send dick pics.
No, it's not.
It's never appropriate to send a dick pic. There's no reason for it.
T is like, agree to disagree.
I have never in my life sent a dick pic.
It's like a finishing move for some people, you know?
Mm-mm.
For a finishing move, like what? Tonight was a lovely evening. By the way,
It's the dick.
click.
Interception. No. In some cases, it's like niggas think that, like, oh man, I gotta get out of here because I had too much fun with you. I'm too comfortable, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna be a gentleman. I'm gonna let you go. Blah blah blah. They leave. They on their way. You send a dick pic. They busting you. And that's how it happens. That's the only time you should do it is when it's clever. Yes. There has to be some cleverness to anything you do. It can't be crass. There has to be like it's a play.
Send a dick pic. I'm
just
so
like I
confused.
just told you. The night got away from them and they was trying to keep their chastity belt on, and you were just like, okay, so cool, you got it.
Because I heard you say that worked.
Yeah.
Have you ever cleverly been sent a dick pic before?
No.
Exactly. This shit don't work. That's why.
What you mean it do work? I just told you it worked. Clean. How many people we met like me? Like, what do you mean?
He's so offended.
It works. I'm trying to tell you it works. And at that point, look, they were already at your spot at that point, and they're trying to hold on to something that you probably don't believe in, Lou. And that's like they're trying to hold on to some
the shade.
What's the word?
Shade.
No, because I've heard Lou say it before. And he's not going to judge you based on you having sex on the first date. I'm not going to judge.
Exactly. But I'm not going to judge you if you want to have sex on the first date.
It's not shade. No.
But I shouldn't have to send you a dick pic for that. Like,
you shouldn't have to. But if you let them leave because you're being polite and you're trying to show that you got, some class to you, go ahead and end that whole class thing because they're going to think you too nice. So on the way there, they'd be like, dang, I was kind of looking at it. I'm going to go ahead and bust
I know when somebody looking at the print is enough.
Yeah.
You just give that joint a little extra oomph. And then I know from there, like, what she want.
What oomph? What the fuck is oomph?
Well.
I feel like I should just take my headphones out for this.
Nope. Oh, well. That's a good point. I wasn't asking specifics.
You may be wearing pants. You may be wearing slacks on a date. She already looking at it like, that joint look good. Just make it jump a little bit in there.
Okay, I can't send a dick pic for a U-turn, but you can accessorize your dick print.
Because at that point she's looking at it. To me, it's not as bad to accessorize a dick print as it is to send a dick pic.
Like my belt itch and scratch your shirt so it lifts up a little bit.
I'm gonna have to mute myself.
Yeah. It would be the last topic when we go ham.
I'm just saying that that's odd that we got to send a dick pics in the middle of going from the first impression to the first date.
Oh gosh.
But I mean,
that's what they should expect. They should expect that.
Also,
have they not listened to the 10 videos plus that we posted? It was going to get there.
It was going somewhere awkward. We were going to make it weird.
Says this bottle of wine that I'm fucking up at the moment. So we didn't answer your question, but that's cool.
Clearly, you did not answer the question, Keem.
I forgot what the question was.
The question was.
I'm just
Keem said it would work though.
I do if somebody made their dick jump in front of me, but I'm also not a crotch starer.
That is two things because is that what you said, and then I said the U-turn dick pic, which Issa couldn't handle that. She straight crashed into
She rear-ended somebody.
And that's how you don't send dick pics. You just make that jump while she there. If you're looking at it anyway, I might as well make it dance for you a little bit.
Where y'all at that she can see it jump?
Well, I mean, I'm playing to the theory, as you said, that we're back at either my place or her place.
Okay. So you changed when you got there, or you?
Nah, I mean.
You put on some gray sweatpants.
Oh, Keem, I'm changing as soon as we get to my crib. I'm like, oh, you want some sweatpants? No,
I'm
I'm
gonna just go slip into something more comfortable.
like shit.
I can make the joint jump in jeans. I'm
Come
good.
out in the Japanese.
Either way, you gonna
You
see
know,
it.
Lou, you're just sharing way too much about your dick with us. Okay,
Too much.
Too much.
I'm just pointing out I can make it jump in anything. So at that point, if she's looking, which women look often anyway, but it's a different look when she looking that she wants it than she just looking as, wow, it's there. Those are two different looks. So if I see that look like you want it, then okay, I'm gonna give you a little extra.
What's that look like?
Lou, every time he bites his lower lip.
Exactly.
Okay,
something like that. Mm-hmm.
Got it. And pause.
She may like lick her lips actually a little bit slow.
Don't say like Aunt King, because this is just weird now.
Nope.
Nope. You won't say that. But like, or she just like that little head thing where the head slightly goes to a 45-degree angle before going back up. Yep. You know this, she's looking at it.
I know that one.
Yeah. At that point, I know I got you. So at that point, hey. But I think if that's happening after the first date, I know before the first date that that's all you really want is to have sex. Or if you think I'm just so dope and that we can continue an awesome relationship as long as you sleep with me on the first date, hey, I'm good with that too. Because it lets me know if the sex is bad that we should not go on a second date. Everybody gets one, but that don't mean you get a second.
That's your next show.
Everybody
what
gets
makes
one?
the sex bad?
No, not every. You know what I meant, King. Damn it. So, anything else in closing comments, my special guest?
I don't know if I've learned something tonight or.
I got a comment.
Yeah, go for it, T.
Good luck, niggas, with this show. Like, make sure y'all comment all y'all distaste for everything Lou say. We ain't gonna always be here to save y'all, motherfuckers.
Right.
Just know that Lou wants to do this by himself.
This was the inaugural event. After this, it's Lou.
Hey, after this, you all in your own with me, and I mean all in your own.
Good luck.
All in your own with me. We finna have fun moving forward with this podcast.
You're gonna have chicks putting pussy on the shelf for months, like in a combination locker. Like, fuck, I thought about it.
So
locking it up.
I'm gonna quickly attempt to recap some of the points that we made this evening.
Because they definitely got lost.
First, women, please, and I'm begging you, please, do not go on these first dates and have a gentleman pick you up from your house, or a gentleman or another woman, because again, we are very supportive of our LGBTQT community. I said
that was out of order, but you got all of them. Yeah.
Hey, that's all that matters. Y'all got all of them. We are very
supportive. Why is there an order?
So
I don't know
whether you are a female going on the first date
because QT
with
says
a woman, or a female going on the first date with another woman, or a man going on the first date with another man. Please don't meet or let them meet you at the place you live at all. Be safe.
Definitely not where you live.
Be safe. Matter of fact, not even where you work. They should not meet you anywhere. It should be a situation where y'all meet at whatever mutually agreed spot that you're supposed to meet on. Also, have rules for your first dates. There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with telling that person up front, these are my expectations. This is what I'm planning on getting out of this. Be honest with each other. That's all you got to do. We are living in a time where people aren't as honest with each other as they should be. So be bluntly honest with your people when you're going on these dates. It can make the experience fun, entertaining, and you may get something else out of it. And lastly, other than free food. Thank you, Keith. Mm-hmm. And lastly, first impressions. I'm a firm believer that everything should be based off of your first impression of you even entertaining the thought of going out with this person. Never second guess yourself. If your first impression of this person is giving you a strange vibe, go with that. Again, it's all about keeping yourself as safe as humanly possible. This is Lou, featuring Keem.
Yep.
T.
Black.
And Lou's Relationship Corner. We out.